Hillary Clinton kicks off her first campaign event with a down-to-earth approach.
Lawmakers clash over a nuclear deal with Iran, why the White House is threatening a veto.
And a pilot makes an emergency landing to save a trapped worker. Good morning. It is Tuesday, April 14th, 2015. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Collin Ruane in for Megan.
And I'm Marcel Clark.
And I'm Tim Schmidt.
A former youth director of a Columbia church makes an appearance in court today. A hotline call in February sparked an investigation that led to the arrest of Dale Johnson. Prosecutors charged Johnson with first-degree statutory sodomy of a person younger than 14 years old, second-degree statutory sodomy, and possession of child pornography. The senior pastor at Parkade Baptist Church, the church Johnson worked at, says Johnson was put on administrative leave when the investigation started. Johnson then resigned from his job. A new club is opening in Jefferson City this summer. Sam's Club will open a store and create about 170 jobs. Today, the store is opening a hiring and membership center. KOMU-8's Jeremy Schrank is live in Jefferson City with more on what the store means for the area. We have some sidewalk and road alerts for you drivers and pedestrians this morning. If you're walking today in Columbia, avoid the sidewalk along East Broadway between Hitt Street and Waugh Street. It's going to be closed for sidewalk trench grate repairs. That starts at 7 this morning and should be finished around 5 Thursday night. And if you're driving in Columbia, here's another place to look out for downtown. The Opus Group is taking down the construction crane on 8th Street. Locust Street between 7th and 8th Streets will be closed for the removal. That also starts at 7 this morning and should be finished tomorrow afternoon at 5.
But the April showers certainly are starting to move their way into the forecast.
Yeah, just always keep your umbrella in your car just in case. You never know what day it might come.
Trying to decide which way to wish. Do I wish the weather system slows down and comes on Friday? Do I wish that it speeds up?
McDonald's is trying to win back customers by making them buy Taco Bell. Seems strange, doesn't it? If customers give McDonald's a Taco Bell breakfast receipt, they'll get a free Egg McMuffin. But it's only offered at some locations in Pennsylvania. McDonald's announced the news on Twitter. It has been struggling with sales, and the promotion is a way to get back customers. There's no word on if the offer will be available at other locations. Well, maybe the airlines could learn a little from the McDonald's promotions. Passenger experience with air travel got worse last year, according to new data. One expert says the cause could be corporate decisions that aren't focused on customer service. Passengers aren't enjoying themselves as much, but corporate profits are on the rise. All 4 major airline stocks, American, United, Delta, and Southwest, were among the market's top earners in 2014.
7-0.
It's impressive. They're just red hot from the World Series. I mean, they lost, but they sort of have the momentum going.
Maybe
on
taking
there.
out some frustration from the loss in the World Series. They haven't lost since that game.
It was a great season, and they know that for sure. And lots of Royals fans happy and excited.
Doctors may be able to identify patients with a high risk of developing stomach cancer with a breath test. Researchers studied breath samples from healthy people and patients diagnosed with stomach cancer. They conducted 2 tests to measure specific compounds in exhaled breath. The first test showed patients with cancer and those without it each had distinctive breath prints. The second test determined who was at high risk of developing the disease. A new study shows children with type 1 diabetes have a significantly increased risk of being admitted to the hospital. Researchers compared records of 1,500 children with diabetes to children without it. The diabetic children were 5 times more likely to go to the hospital for any reason. Preschoolers and those from disadvantaged backgrounds had the highest risk. Clyde Ruffin and Elizabeth Betsy Peters will wake up this morning as sworn-in Columbia City Council members following last night's special meeting. This past Tuesday, voters elected Ruffin as the 1st Ward Council member and elected Peters as the 6th Ward Council member. Friends, family, and the public attended the ceremony to congratulate the new members. Peters says encouragement from her friends helped motivate her to run. Ruffin also thanked friends and family, adding he's eager to get started. KOMU-8 asked the newly elected council members what their feelings were on the demolition of the downtown Shakespeare's. Barbara Hoppy, an outgoing member of the City Council, proposed an historic preservation ordinance that could delay the demolition. Here's what new members Clyde Ruffin and Elizabeth Peters had to say. Peters says she'd likely be in favor of a historic preservation ordinance. Ruffin declined to comment, saying he needs more time to gather information on future agenda items.
Around here,
mornings and weather right now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 14th, 2015. I'm Angie Bailey.
I'm Collin Ruane. We're just copy.
I know, I tried to pause, I tried to let him, and then he did, and then one time he talked over me, and I thoroughly chewed him out for that.
That's the second time that's happened.
An Alaska Airlines plane had to make an emergency landing after a ramp agent was trapped inside the cargo hold. The pilot reported hearing banging and screaming from beneath the plane minutes after taking off from Seattle's SeaTac Airport. The worker told first responders he was taking a nap inside the front cargo hold and woke up when the plane took off. The cargo hold is heated and pressurized, but the worker was taken to the hospital as a precaution. Live look over downtown Columbia this morning. It is 6:34 on your Tuesday morning. We'll be right back. Presidential candidate Marco Rubio is heading to Washington today. He's taking on talks on Iran's nuclear program with the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Rubio announced his run for the 2016 presidency on Monday. So far, 2 other Republicans have announced their plans to run in the race: Ted Cruz and Rand Paul. A few candidates have recently declared their run for the White House, but another says not yet. The campaign for Republican Ben Carson says he'll make a major announcement next month. At the May 4th event in Detroit, Carson is expected to launch his presidential bid. A spokeswoman for the potential candidate says Carson is still exploring his options and has not yet made a decision. The Columbia Regional Airport could broaden its horizons, but changes would take up to 7 years. In today's top 8, a Senate panel is expected to vote today on a bill that would give the U.S. Congress a voice in negotiating a deal on Iran nukes. The White House is pushing back, threatening a veto and pressuring lawmakers to give the administration more time and space to negotiate a final nuclear deal. But lawmakers from both parties don't want to be written out of power in shaping an international agreement with Tehran. The new congressional oversight bill would give lawmakers 30 days to look over any final nuclear deal reached. It would also allow the president to unilaterally lift or ease any sanctions imposed on Iran through presidential executive means. But the bill would prohibit him for 60 days from suspending, waiving, or otherwise easing any sanctions that Congress levied on Iran. After nearly 3 months of jury selection and nearly 3 years after the mass shooting, a jury could be seated today for the death penalty trial of the Colorado theater murders. Prosecutors have charged James Holmes with killing 12 people and injuring 70 others. The jury will decide whether he was legally insane, and if guilty, he should be executed or get life in prison. The drought in California is about to get a little more rough. The Metropolitan Water District is scheduled to meet today. The topic, cutting down on water deliveries by 15% starting this summer. This is the 4th year the state has suffered from the drought, causing the governor to call for a 25% cut in urban water use this month. The cuts would stay in effect for a year, and cities that need more water pay a penalty up to 4 times the normal price. Remember, KOMU 8 News is with you on the go online at KOMU.com. You can find your local news and national as well, weather in your area, plus sports, high school, college, and pro. KOMU 8 News with you all day on KOMU.com.
That's our time for now. We're making a great Tuesday, folks. Thanks for joining us.